Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is another Batman the Animated Series review and I hope you enjoy. One of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series, this episode completely reimagined Mr. Freeze for the DC Universe. Episode 14 of Batman the Animated Series won an Emmy for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program, which rocketed the series to fame. This, only at episode 14, may be the best episode of Batman the Animated Series. It completely took the forgettable Mr. Freeze character and turned him into an A-lister. Batman discovers Mr. Freeze behind a series of ice attacks against Gothcorp. Mr. Freeze is stealing equipment to build a giant cold gun to get revenge on Ferris Boyle. Bruce Wayne goes to talk to Ferris Boyle, and Boyle tells him there's only one man who would hate him this much to commit such crimes against his company, a scientist who was using company equipment for personal use. There was a fight, and he died in it. Batman eventually sneaks into Gothcorp and looks around for info about the accident. There, Batman discovers that Gothcorp CEO Ferris Boyle is responsible for the death of Mr. Freeze's wife. Since Batman is a superhero, he needs to stop Mr. Freeze from executing his revenge. Writing for this episode was spot on. The episode had no good guys. Mr. Freeze and Mr. Boyle were both bad guys. You can't root for either one. And as the story progressed, they made you feel almost sorry for Mr. Freeze. This episode was the first thing to introduce the idea of him having a wife, Nora. Learning that he is doing this all for her changes the game on so many levels, and turned Freeze into a character that writers can make more stories with. Tying that into his origin story definitely improved upon his boring, ridiculous last one. Learning that Mr. Freeze was killed by Joker in the comics before this episode came out was insane. The animation is very detailed and well done here, more than most. I love wintertime and I love snow. Heck, it's in my channel logo, so of course I love the art in this episode. This episode is very goofy, something I don't know if a lot of people talk about. Mr. Freeze does yell out ice puns, and Batman being sick is actually a plot point in the episode, and the talks with Alfred are great. Mr. Freeze built his lair under Gothcorp, which is either genius or very stupid. The voice acting is spot on. I love Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill voicing Batman and Ferris Boyle. I love the robotic voice Michael Ansara gives to Mr. Freeze. Personally, though, my favorite one has to be Maurice LaMarche, the man who voiced him in the Arkham games. One thing, though, if I had to point out a problem, is I would have loved to see a fun little Robin cameo. Maybe, I don't know, it could have made the episode worse. In Arkham Origins, the DLC is just like this episode with some of its plot. I like Batman saying, "Take a seat, humanitarian," more than "Good night, humanitarian." A 10 out of 10. It has everything in a great Batman story you could ask for, and under 22 minutes. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys, and have a good day.